We're counting down the 15 most chaotic golf moments that went terribly wrong, where golf's calm exterior suddenly shattered and unforgettable disorder took center stage. From unexpected bloopers and bizarre disruptions to shocks that rewrote careers and shook entire tournaments, each entry pushes the boundary of what can go wrong within the sport's polished traditions. Which calamity caused the biggest sensation? Let's find out, starting with number 15. Bryson DeChambeau, deep in playoff preparation and lost in his routine, walked backward into a driving range rope with such force that it snapped him off balance. The rope caught him right in the neck, drawing a loud curse that echoed across the range. Cameras and phones everywhere caught the whole thing. One moment, golf's most meticulous mind. The next, a viral blooper reel. Bryson barely paused. He shook it off, grinned, and was back to pounding balls within seconds. Millions watched the clip online, seeing a rare, relatable crack in golf's most calculated persona. Sometimes, even the scientist gets humbled by a simple rope. During the final round of the 2021 US Open at Torrey Pines, order broke down in the most unexpected way. A streaker sprinted onto the 13th fairway, not just running wild, but carrying a club and a handful of balls. He paused mid-fairway, teed one up, and actually hit a shot as officials and marshals scrambled in pursuit. Laughter and disbelief rippled through the crowd while play had to be suspended. Within 90 seconds, security tackled and arrested the intruder. The entire episode exposed just how quickly chaos can slip past even the tightest major championship security, turning a tense Sunday into a spectacle no one could have predicted. Sunday singles at the 2023 Ryder Cup in Rome were already simmering with tension when a caddy celebration ignited an international uproar. As Matt Fitzpatrick lined up a crucial putt, Joe LaCava, on Patrick Cantlay's bag, waved his cap right in Fitzpatrick's line of sight, a gesture loaded with meaning after days of talk about Cantlay's supposed protest for not wearing a team hat. The moment sparked a heated confrontation between players and caddies, drawing in captains and officials as rules on caddy conduct were suddenly center stage. The debate spilled far beyond the course, with headlines dissecting where passion ends and gamesmanship begins in golf's most intense team event. On a quiet Thursday at the 2023 Masters, nature delivered a shock no one saw coming. 3 towering pines toppled in unison beside the 17th tee, sending players, caddies, and fans scrambling for safety. The crash echoed through Augusta National, a place famous for its order and control. Emergency crews moved fast, clearing the area and confirming, almost unbelievably, that no one was hurt. Play stopped as officials evacuated spectators, and grounds crews worked late into the evening to remove the fallen giants. The tournament resumed, but the image of those trees downed in a single instant became an unforgettable reminder that even golf's most sacred ground isn't immune to chaos. Sahith Theegala, playing as a rookie at the 2022 Travelers Championship, stepped onto the 18th tee with his first PGA Tour win in sight. His tee shot found the fairway bunker, and pressure surged. ShotLink data later showed he spent 8 seconds longer over the ball than any previous shot that round. His first attempt to escape caught the lip, staying in the sand. The next swing finally got him out, but the damage was done. Standing over a bogey putt, hands visibly trembling, Theegala watched it lip out. The double bogey handed victory to Xander Schauffele by a single stroke, the heartbreak playing out in real time for everyone watching. The 16th hole at the 2022 Phoenix Open turned into a wild party the moment Sam Ryder's tee shot disappeared for a hole-in-one. Beer cans and bottles rained from every corner of the stadium, covering the green and halting play as officials scrambled to restore order. The celebration was so intense that cleanup crews needed nearly 15 minutes to clear the debris and repair the turf. Then, just hours later, Carlos Ortiz fired another ace, and the beer storm struck again, even bigger than before. Tournament organizers faced a $25,000 cleanup bill and a flood of safety concerns. The spectacle forced a hard look at alcohol sales and crowd control, sparking debate about how much chaos is too much, even for golf's rowdiest venue. Tiger Woods, deep in the hunt during round 2 of the 2019 Masters, found himself at the center of a scene that nobody could have scripted. As he threaded his way through a crush of spectators, a security guard sprinted in to keep the crowd at bay, but instead, he sprinted right into the middle of the crowd, He slipped and slid right into Tiger's ankle. The collision sent a jolt through the gallery and left Woods limping, his pain visible for a few tense moments. In that instant, the risk of injury threatened to derail one of golf's greatest comeback stories. Yet, Tiger steadied himself, blocked out the chaos, and promptly birdied the hole. The limp faded, but the image stuck. Crowd control gone awry. A superstar almost sidelined by a moment of overzealous protection. By Sunday, Tiger's resilience had carried him all the way to a fifth green jacket, the ankle scare now part of the legend of his return. Patrick Cantlay and Bryson DeChambeau squared off at the 2021 PGA Championship, locked in a sudden death playoff that stretched into the evening. Each hole brought fresh tension, not just from the stakes, but from the crowd itself. Fans, fueled by months of DeChambeau and Koepka drama, hurled Brooksy chants at Bryson on every tee box and green. The atmosphere turned from competitive to combative, with every shot echoing against a wall of noise. As the sun dropped lower, neither player blinked. Cantlay drained long putts, DeChambeau matched birdie for birdie, and the gallery's jeers only got louder. On the sixth extra hole, DeChambeau finally missed a makeable putt. Cantlay, steady as ever, rolled in the winner. The duel lasted nearly an hour, a test of nerves and endurance made even harder by the relentless heckling. In the end, it wasn't just golf skill that decided it, but who could withstand the psychological storm. Rory McIlroy jolted awake in his Chicago hotel room and realized, with a sinking feeling, that he had misread the time zone. The 2012 Ryder Cup singles at Medina were about to start, and he was nowhere near the course. What followed was a mad scramble, a police escort weaving through traffic, sirens blaring, as one of golf's biggest stars tried to avoid the ultimate no-show. Rory arrived at Medina with just 10 minutes before his tee time. No warm-up, barely time to lace his shoes. The panic was obvious, but there was no option except to walk straight to the first tee and face Keegan Bradley. Instead of unraveling, Rory played with a focus that stunned even his teammates. He won 2-1, flipping disaster into a clutch point for Europe. That wild ride from chaos to calm became part of Ryder Cup folklore, a reminder that sometimes the line between embarrassment and legend is just a matter of how you handle the moment. Dustin Johnson stood over his ball on the fifth green at Oakmont, chasing his first major at the 2016 US Open, when the ball rolled ever so slightly after he'd grounded his putter. An on-course official told him to play on, no penalty, but that clarity shattered just hours later. By the 12th tee, USGA officials informed Johnson he might still be penalized, but they hadn't decided yet. For the rest of the round, Johnson and every contender played without knowing the real score, the tension thickening with every hole. Only after the final putt did the committee add a one-stroke penalty, citing video review and Rule 18-2. Johnson was judged to have, more likely than not, caused the movement. He still won, but the confusion and public outcry forced the USGA to rewrite the rule. By 2019, accidental ball movement on the green no longer meant a penalty, closing a chapter on one of golf's most embarrassing officiating debacles. The chaos that day wasn't just about nerves. It was about a system that left the world's best guessing the rules in real time. Jon Rahm walked off the 18th green at Muirfield Village with a 6-shot lead, having just fired a dazzling 64 to all but lock up the 2021 Memorial Tournament. As he reached the scoring area, 2 PGA Tour officials approached, their faces serious. On live television, Rahm was told he had tested positive for COVID-19. The news landed like a punch. He doubled over, hands to his face, while cameras captured the moment. Just like that, Rahm was out of the tournament, forced to withdraw by health protocols that allowed no exceptions, not even for a player who was asymptomatic and vaccinated, but still within the required 14-day window. The winner's share of $1.674 million and a certain victory vanished instantly. Rahm spent the next 10 days in isolation, watching the final round from afar as Collin Morikawa and Patrick Cantlay battled for a title he had already earned on the course. The tour's rules, built for safety, offered no comfort for heartbreak. For golf fans, the image of Rahm's disbelief, broadcast to millions, became a symbol of how abruptly fortunes could change, and how even perfect play can't protect against the chaos of the outside world. Phil Mickelson stepped onto the 18th fairway at Kiawah Island with history within reach. But what followed was unlike anything seen at a major. As Phil and Brooks Koepka walked toward the final green of the 2021 PGA Championship, thousands of fans surged past rope barriers and overwhelmed security, flooding the narrow corridor meant to protect the players. The rope lines, designed for orderly celebration, offered little resistance as the crowd pressed closer, turning a moment of triumph into a chaotic stampede. Volunteers and off-duty police, far outnumbered, struggled to hold back the flood of bodies. In the crush, Koepka's surgically repaired knee was hit by an unseen fan, leaving him fuming about the lack of control. Phil, somehow, kept his focus and finished the job, becoming the oldest major winner in history. But the euphoria quickly gave way to concern. Players, caddies, and officials all voiced alarm at how quickly safety dissolved. The PGA of America issued a public apology for the breakdown, promising immediate changes to crowd management and barrier design for future championships. That afternoon at Kiawah became the largest security breach in modern major golf, a cautionary tale about what happens when celebration overtakes caution, and the line between fan and player disappears in a single, unstoppable wave. Jordan Spieth arrived at Augusta in 2016 with a green jacket already in his closet and a 5-shot lead as he made the turn on Sunday. The galleries around Amen Corner braced for a coronation, but the 12th hole had other plans. Spieth's tee shot on the par 3-12 started right, drifted on the wind, and splashed into Rays Creek. A mistake, but not yet a disaster. In disbelief, he reached for another ball, took his drop, and tried again. The second shot, nerves now visible, followed the same fate, barely clearing the bank before tumbling back into the water. Standing on the drop zone, Spieth's composure was gone. He chunked his fourth, finally finding dry land, but the damage was piling up. 2 putts later, the scorecard read 7, a quadruple bogey. In the space of 10 minutes, a 5-shot lead vanished, and the roars that once followed Spieth now belonged to Danny Willett, who played flawless golf behind him and surged into the lead. Spieth, left to process the collapse, managed only a handshake and a 1,000-yard stare as he walked off the green. The 2016 Masters became an instant touchstone for how quickly a major can turn. A single hole, one swing, then another, turned a champion into a cautionary tale. Spieth's quadruple bogey 7 on the 12th ranks among golf's most infamous unravelings, a moment when the pressure of history, the weight of expectation, and the cruel design of Augusta all combined to change the outcome of a tournament and the legacy of a young star. Rory McIlroy stood on the 16th green at Pinehurst, holding a 1-shot lead with the US Open within reach. The putt in front of him measured just 2 feet, 6 inches, a distance he'd made 496 times in a row that season. The kind of putt that, by the numbers, is almost automatic. He set up, stroked it, and watched in disbelief as the ball grazed the right edge and spun away. A bogey, but still tied for the lead. 2 holes later, needing par on the 18th to force a playoff, McIlroy faced another short putt, this one just under 4 feet. The gallery barely breathed. He backed off once, then again, tension visible in his movements. The stroke came off tentative. The ball slid past the left edge, and with it went his chance at ending a decade-long major drought. Bryson DeChambeau, playing behind, made an extraordinary up and down from the bunker to seal the title by a single stroke. For a player of McIlroy's caliber, missing 2 putts inside 4 feet in the final stretch of a major is almost unthinkable. The PGA Tour average from those ranges hovers above 99%. Yet, under the weight of history and the eyes of the world, the margin shrank to nothing. McIlroy left Pinehurst without a word to the media, his silence echoing the shock that swept across social media and broadcast booths alike. Analysts called it the harshest heartbreak of his career, a collapse measured not in yards, but in inches. In the end, a championship was decided not by heroic shots, but by the tiniest of misses, a reminder that in golf, greatness and agony are often separated by less than the width of a cup. At 6:36 a.m. on the Friday of the 2024 PGA Championship, world number 1 Scottie Scheffler was handcuffed and booked by Louisville police outside Valhalla. A fatal accident had snarled traffic, And in the confusion, Scheffler, credential in hand, was directed into a restricted lane. An officer accused him of disregarding orders and placed him under arrest. The mugshot, orange jail shirt and all, hit every sports feed before sunrise. Released just after 8:30 a.m., Scheffler returned to the course, and less than 2 hours after walking out of jail, shot a 66. 2 weeks later, all charges were dismissed with prejudice. Never before had the top-ranked golfer been arrested mid-major, played on, and finished his round as if nothing had happened, a moment that eclipsed even the wildest chaos golf had ever seen. From Bryson DeChambeau's viral driving range clothesline to Scottie Scheffler's unprecedented mid-major arrest, this countdown has spanned the full spectrum of golf chaos: slapstick bloopers, security breakdowns, near misses with nature, and career-defining heartbreaks. Across all 15 entries, one pattern stands out. No matter how controlled or traditional the setting, golf is never immune to disorder. We've seen how a single bad bounce, a rules controversy, or a momentary lapse can unravel years of preparation, like Rory's missed putts at Pinehurst or Spieth's collapse at Amen Corner. But the most shocking moments, like Jon Rahm's sudden COVID withdrawal or Phil's Kiawah stampede, reveal how forces outside the ropes can upend even the highest stakes. What qualifies these moments isn't just chaos, but the way they expose golf's vulnerability to the unexpected, from human error to acts of nature to institutional failures. In the end, these incidents remind us that golf's real drama isn't just about perfect swings, but about how players, fans, and organizers respond when everything goes terribly wrong.